And today's goals is to clearly understand the 4 life cycle stages for a product, identify signs that your product is moving into the next stage, and identify what to do when you're in decline, which is when you're losing money or not gaining a lot. So I'd like everyone to unmute themselves and discuss what marketing is. And there's some words in the top left-hand corner to get you started. Anyone can start.
Okay, marketing is getting people to buy your product instead of like competitors. For example, saying like okay, this is a random example. Like my apple is redder and sweeter than the other store's apple.
Yeah, does anyone have any other thought or opinion to it? You guys don't have to be afraid to like say something. I'm not gonna like be mad. Okay, well, if nobody else has any other thoughts, let's just move on. So basically, it's my definition is the activity, set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large, which is like what you said, the basically getting someone to buy your product instead of a competitor's because the offerings have value. And something not a lot of people know is that there are different fields of marketing. There's market research, brand management, advertising, and public relations, promotion, sales, and retailing, which are different like parts of marketing, but we won't get too much into that. So what is product lifecycle marketing? Product lifecycle marketing aligns marketing efforts with the product lifecycle stage. Product lifecycle management includes all activities related to the product lifecycle, not just marketing. And there's 4 stages. So introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. And on the picture, you can see basically how much money you'll reap in during those times. So here's a quote from Theodore Levitt. Most new products don't have any sort of classical life cycle curve at all. They have instead, from the very outset, an indefinitely descending curve. The product not only doesn't get off the ground, it goes quickly underground, 6 feet under. So does anyone know what that might mean or have a guess?
Like, for example, I think iPhones, for example, now, like a long time ago, it was like the new, like having an iPhone was like the hottest thing and the most popular thing on earth. And now, like almost everybody has an iPhone or just any phone basically. Now, Apple or Microsoft or whoever's selling the phone just has like it's harder for them to get people to buy phones. Like, yes, they can make newer, better phones, but still, most people just already have a phone.
Yeah. Does anyone else want to provide another example or another guess to what this is? Okay then. So basically, I'll just read the right side of the slide and then provide my definition. So there are many benefits of looking at marketing through the lens of a product lifecycle, since looking at it provides a broad understanding of how your product fits into the life cycle for the product class, form, or brand. For example, cars, people care, and Ford. It also helps you identify which stage you're in to help you understand what you need to do to communicate and how to do so persuasively. So it helps you reap in more money, essentially, if you can understand what you can do to make your product be better during that stage. And last, it'll help you spot the early signs of a pending transition to a new stage and suggest how your marketing campaigns should accommodate that change. And of course, none of this matters if you can't push your product beyond the introductory stage. So what Theo Levitt is saying there is that most people can't push their product beyond the introductory stage and quickly lose money because of that. So that's what we don't want to do. So there's going to be a couple terms and definitions. Consumers and demographics are basically the same thing. They mean target audience. Profitability means the ability of a business to earn profit, not the amount of money a business earns. And now last is the product mix, which is the different products a company is going to sell. So the introductory stage is when a product first comes into the market. So as Eric said, for an example, the iPhone about 20-ish years ago, 15-ish years ago, first came into the market. The introductory stage is very unprofitable, very risky, and very pricey due to low sales and high promotion expenses, and there's no benefit in prolonging the introductory stage. The primary marketing goal is to move quickly into growth by building awareness. So during the introductory stage, just don't expect to earn any money since you probably won't. Like Apple didn't even earn money during their introductory stage with the iPhone, and now they're a multi-million-dollar company. So you're probably not gonna earn any money. So go-to-market strategies to go to growth from introduction. I have three, the main ones here. So a market-led strategy asks, what do consumers want? So that's when they reach out into their target audience or hold a survey or something and look at the different types of people they have, identify a target audience, and see what they all have in common and what they want in a product. A product-led marketing strategy is when a product or service is developed before the company can reasonably determine its market. So, for example, if you make Scrub Daddy, everyone knows that. They went on Shark Tank and it was a major hit. And last is a sales-led marketing strategy, inquiry, referral, or other info obtained through advertisement or other means that identifies a potential customer. So basically, they spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on ads and hope people see those ads. So, when you're watching TV and then a bunch of weird ads come on and you don't want to watch them. Yeah, those are the sales-led marketing strategies, but sometimes people like to watch them and then they're like, ooh, I should buy this product. But I think the most reasonable one is the market-led strategy. I'd say that's the most secure. And the signs of heading into growth is when you focus more on making your products stand out from your competitors rather than creating a market or trying to get more potential buyers. You're already past the initial product launch, and you must now consider how to promote product updates to an existing consumer base or use them as means to acquire new buyers. So this is when you're competing against your competitors rather than trying to get more people to buy your product. During the growth stage, this will be the period with the sharpest increase in sales. So if we go back to this picture, you see that the slope is almost a linear line, really, really exponential growth, really. It's kind of curved. So marketing is strategically trying to gain new customers by looking at their competitors and trying to differentiate themselves. there will be a gain in profits, as seen in the picture. The marketing team will work to draw in a large audience and build brand preference by conducting research which affects their marketing plans or go-to-market strategies. And during growth, the signs of heading into maturities is when the rise in sales, not profits, levels out. So profits is the amount of money you gain, sales is the amount of products you sell. By the end of the growth stage, most people who want your product have it, or a competitor's, and your focus shifts from winning customers from competitors to making marketing more efficient. So basically, everyone will have a product by then. For example, everyone nowadays probably has an iPhone or an Android. Obviously, iPhone is winning the game right now. So I guess Samsung and like other brands, Huawei, I think that's a brand, will like try to get people to buy their phones, but I guess Apple's marketing is just that much better. And during maturity is when your product is at peak profitability. So let's look at the picture again. So you see intro, growth, and maturity. Some people call it stabilization, but I call it maturity. So this is when you see it hit the top of the bell curve here. The length of the phase depends on how long marketing can sustain the product's dominant market position. So, for example, Samsung was actually the leading phone provider for a while, for a little bit, but then Apple took over since I guess they couldn't keep it. Their marketing wasn't that great. And intense competition. New customers aren't new to your product class, but are probably new to your brand since they switched from competitors. So for example, I have a friend who used to use a Samsung and they switched to Apple. After my friends and I were like, ooh, you should switch to Apple. So your losses are wins for your competitors. You may have competitors at both ends of the spectrum. So that means people who offer the product more cheaply and those who offer a higher end version. So as an example, we can use maybe drinks. So let's say one cafe is selling a coffee, just a simple double, or let's do a simple Americano, so that's just black coffee. But they use instant coffee. So they can offer the product more cheaply, but the higher end version will have freshly grinded coffee beans. It may take longer to make, but it'll obviously taste better. And you'll have to identify which route you want to take. Your brand must become a powerful and stable differentiator in order to have a long maturity period, or else you're gonna just hit maturity and then go into decline in like really quickly. And that's really bad. You don't want that. So since the maturity stage is so important, we want to identify how to prolong the maturity stage. So first, you want to identify new demographics for the product. So first, does anyone remember what demographics mean? Target. It starts with target.
Target audience.
Yes! Good job. You get extra brownie points. Okay, so you need to identify new target audiences you want to sell the product to. So, for example, let's say Nike. So first they started off as just like a fitness brand. Well, I guess they still are, but then when they started making like sweatshirts and stuff, more people bought their products who like don't even work out or do any sports. So then they started making more money that way. And is there another type of potential users that if marketing reframed as messaging could become viable prospects? So Nike's phrase is just do it. So that's not entirely athletic, but it can be seen as that. And people who don't play sports or anything could still use it. And it's really comfortable. I like it. So you can also identify new uses for the product. So, for example, bubble wrap. I like to pop bubble wrap sometimes. It's pretty fun. And you can also wrap like products in it. A Slinky and Coca-Cola. Um, yeah, a lot of people buy Coca-Cola now to like put Mentos in it and watch it explode. It's really fun. And apparently people clean toilets with it sometimes. I don't, but like, I don't know, you can. Um, the list of products known for their secondary uses is very long. Your product probably won't have an alternative that generates exponential growth, but you probably can find a way to prolong the maturity phase for a year, which is still pretty good. You can also hope a new style, trend, or fad comes to the rescue. So the Rubik's Cube was like popular when I was in like kindergarten and elementary school, and it always comes back sometimes. Like I don't know how, but I mean it's pretty cool, I guess. They always make it like a smaller one or a bigger one. Um, so here you can see interest over time. O4 is the introductory stage. And here you can definitely see the sharp increase in sales, which would lead me to believe that's growth. There's a little decline here. And then there's maturity when it's at its peak. And you see that it slowly starts to decline. But then something happened. A new style, trend, or fad came, and they're like, woo, we're back, growth, yay. Okay. So signs of heading into decline when the production gets concentrated into fewer hands, prices and margins get depressed, and consumers get bored. The only cases where there's any relief to this boredom is where styling and fashion play some constantly reviving role. So basically, Forever 21, they try to make their products better than others by putting weird words on them. I don't really like them. So I guess they're trying to stop their consumers from getting bored, but yeah, it's not really working. So, but Apple phones is a good idea, or is a good example. So, for example, I have the iPhone 11 now, but I used to have the iPhone 7. The camera quality is definitely much better. And I like that it's a little bigger, so then people with like vision that isn't that good can see maybe with bigger font. I also like all the colors they came out with. There's like white, turquoise, red, yellow, blue. They're really cool. Yeah, so Apple phones, actually, the one thing they always improve in their phones is the camera quality. So if you have like the iPhone 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just like look at the camera quality in all of them. It's incredible. So during the decline stage, you must reduce spending and milk the brand, which I will get into later. Milking the brand is very important. So sales and profits will both decline, and there's probably no new customers, probably since a dominant replacement technology appeared. So for example, Samsung declined because Apple came in. You can identify the late adopters among your buyers or potential buyers, and the addition of a new demographic or expanding an existing one can slow the downturn in sales. So this is the bad stage. You don't really want to hit this stage. I mean, Apple kind of did, but I'd say they're still in the maturity stage. So milking your brand. Milking your brand spends brand capital to generate near-term profits. One example is that Apple knows that iPhone sales are in decline, which is why they announced in 2018 they would no longer report unit sales and report unit profits. Apple is milking the brand by charging customers more because they can, and easing the impact of a reduction in iPhone sales due in part to market saturation. So basically, in 2018, 2019-ish, they were kind of declining, but now they're back up with their new iPhone 11, which I think is pretty great. Like, see how good that looks? It's so sleek. And I don't have the one with 3 cameras because I kind of think it looks like boba, but I have the one with 2 cameras, and that one's pretty nice. There's another decline strategy called harvest, which is the most proactive market effort in the decline phase to reduce marketing spend. So basically, you invest minimally to reap whatever profit possible. A failure to reduce marketing spends risks sharpening the slope of decline. So for example, thrift stores. They'll probably buy something from a person or like Goodwill for like $2 or $3 and then sell it for like $20. So that means they'll get like $17 or $18 in profit from like one item, and that's how they make profit. And another decline strategy is withdrawing. By withdrawing, the product gets the last bits of profitability and out of the market. Withdrawing reduces investments in product development and promotion to lower costs. So I don't really know if not flip-flops. I can't speak today. Sorry guys. Flip phones. I don't really know if they're still in the market. I don't think so. But I think they withdrew their product since nobody's going to use a flip phone when there's phones with screens. So you must know when your company plans to withdraw a product, since if you don't know when the company plans to withdraw a product entirely, you could waste valuable resources on a marketing campaign that will get short before it can return sales, spending thousands on the acquisition of leads who may never get the drip campaign or a follow-up call they need to become clients. So basically, if you're marketing, let's say you spent $500,000 on a 5-second ad during the Super Bowl. And then your company the next day is like, ooh, we're going to get rid of the product. And then you're going to be like, what? Because you just like lost all that money, basically. Some of you guys may ask how long the expected life cycle of a product is. And not every company is prepared for a full product life cycle. Some companies may never plan for phases beyond introduction and growth. And the latter phases become someone else's product, like what they did with WhatsApp. So the company focused on driving user adoption, which is basically getting people to use the app. And then Facebook, with Mark Zuckerberg, bought the company in 2014, not knowing how to monetize users, which is really stupid. Don't buy a company without knowing how to make money off them. Mark Zuckerberg felt that any platform with 500 million users had potential, even if that required a $19 billion bet. By 2018, WhatsApp still had 1.5 billion users, but no monetization because Zuckerberg did not know how to monetize users. Just so dumb. Do not buy anything without knowing how to make money off it. Additionally, products that require more market development may linger longer in the introduction phase. Other products that are fads and trends have shorter life cycles and will have sharper slopes between each phase. Trends. Let me think of a trend. 2019, the scrunchies came back. So now not a lot of people wear them, but like literally everyone wore a scrunchie in 2019. So that lasted about a year, I'd say. So in conclusion, the best way of seeing one's current stage is to try and foresee the next stage and work backwards. If you're just starting out, how will your value proposition and go-to-market strategy operate in a crowded marketplace? or when your product is offering is competitive with industry leaders. In your growth phase, are you differentiating on more than just features? Are you building a brand that can be a dominant force with a long maturity period? And if you're in maturity, you're not off duty. What can you do to try and get decline to not come? Which market changes are likely to erode profitability in your product? And can you build efficiency into your demand generation campaigns to extend profitability? You have to ask yourself a lot of questions during each phase to make sure you can make a lot of money during that phase or not lose any. So, the homework for next class is to describe a general product lifecycle. Write 2 to 3 sentences or more for each stage. Please turn it into Google Classroom before the next class. I'll make an assignment box thingy, and then you guys can turn it into the assignment box. If you have any questions, my email is cchenjoyy@gmail.com, or you can direct message me on Instagram at _chenjoy. And have a great weekend.